It creates bigger highs, but also you got to remember it creates bigger lows in that sense too. Which I suppose for people who want or have, you know, a what's the word? Predetermination towards gambling, then it makes sense. You want the bigger highs to capture them. And then there's no point having those medium highs for people who are already smart enough to just buy singles. Do you think getting some boxes might be worth it right now? I would say right now, I would expect them to go up more. But it depends for what purpose. Do you want them for opening the set to lead into the new set? Do you want them to try and chase stuff to sell? If you don't have any Tails cards, I would, yeah, in all honesty, you can probably still find Unlimited for fairly cheap if you just want cards to play with. If you want to try and chase stuff to sell in this moment, I wouldn't bother, right? By the time you get into the cycle, it's going to be over, right? You'll be chasing it. Yeah, if it's for your enjoyment, I would fully expect them to continue rising. So your best bet is probably to try and get them into it a little bit now. I don't think you need that much, but there are definitely some interesting cards, because you got to remember, right, in this booster pack. So, still valid, still valid, still valid, not valid, not valid, not valid, not valid, still valid. Well, you know, technically still valid, but not in the set. Ice, not valid. Elemental Ranger, not valid. Elemental Guardian, not valid. Yeah, so just like that, half the pack is still not relevant to anything. So you gotta keep that in mind, right? And the same will go for the big pulls or anything like that. It's not a perfect 1-to-1. It's worse off than Dustil Dawn to Monarch. But if you've never collected or opened any, I always think buying, you know, like one case is the best way to get the majority of a set. And then going for other stuff. Right, going for the specific things. And you never know. Elemental Guardian could come back. Elemental Ranger is a curious thought. With what they've done with arrows and like outsides and everything, I don't expect Elemental Ranger to be that high on their board. Hey Nolan. He usually gets all playsets of like commons and most rares within a case. At least from my own pulling. If Oldhim does end up being the third Armory deck of the year, which, again, you sort of got to mince their words, but James White said Armory decks next year would be introducing new heroes, and technically Oldhim, you know, isn't a new hero, or Stravo if they go Elemental Guardian, right? So if Elemental Guardian does make an appearance in the Strike decks or the Armory decks, Tails will go nuts. Because at that point, everything is kind of relevant. And how prolific Elemental Guardian once was, it will, to some extent, be enough to again, make Tails go through the roof. So yeah, if you're looking for boxes, buy now, right, while the hype is just starting to build. Cool. An M. That's a little bit better. But, unfortunately, Winter's Wail is another terrible card for play. Again, it's just... if Ice was pitched to play it, Winter's Wail gets, if this hits a hero, create a Frostbite token and then control. No, it actually seems better. I can see them doing Elemental Guardian, but doing Stravo with just Lightning as the Armory deck. I think Ice is just too detrimental for the meta. Again, this is just... if this pitched, it now not only pressures 4 damage, which requires most likely 2 cards to block with, but then Frostbite token. Frostbite tokens are a nightmare. I'd say though, the box is way overpriced in my country. Average box is $100. I think I'll pass. Yeah. Though, if you do want, you know, keep it in perspective, no Flesh and Blood set has ever reached, aside from like Monarch, the price point LSS specifically set out to achieve, right? No single box goes for the recommended retail price any place. Which I've always found is so funny. Because I don't know why they either bring it down and say that, or they, you know, try to double down and rise up the box prices. Because the thought that always enters my mind is any new store that grabs Flesh and Blood. Oh cool, this pamphlet says I can sell a box for this price. Oh, wait. No. What? 20% less? Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. Right? That's the mentality that, to me, goes through people's minds. And that cannot be healthy. They're trying to get the game to develop in new areas. I wonder if Blink has gone up, because Blink for Wizard is also another insane card. It's just mind-blowing to me. Compared to every other game. This is a recommended, this is what you sell it for. Flesh and Blood, just knock off, again, a ridiculous amount. Considering it's on the second page, I don't think Blink has come back. Blink seems really up there for Wizard. I think one thing that sort of shapes people's mentality towards Wizard is they think instances are, you know, less of a premium because of Kano. But it is just Kano and instances. We're not, you know, wanting to hit them with your ability. But it seems like a fantastic card for a Lightning Wizard. Straight up to the action point. Are we ever going to get something good? That's the question. Oh yeah. I complain, but we did get Spellbound Creepers last time. And we did get something in that pack. We did get Caution Crossroads this time. So is the all pick bad, good stats, but insta kills off toxic. No, that's fine. You're more than welcome to ask about Soda Dungeon. So for other people reading, it's probably a bit confusing. The ore pick is fantastic if you're mining ore. Other than that, yeah, it is pretty redundant. In most cases, you don't want to actually one-hit ore. Because it's a slow animation if you're clearing rooms. You want everything else to die. And then you go to the next room if it's a natural spawning ore. You don't have to defeat the ore. Seek and destroy foil. That could be nice. I do want that for Riptide. So even with Brody doing numbers with Azalea, I think the main Ranger cards are still just all the debilitating stuff. I mean, Thick and Throw is good. Random question. Can an Earth Lightning Hero run? Yeah, no, I literally asked that just before, Felipe. I don't know what the ruling is on that. You know what? So this was a double Cold War box. Which is also kind of rare. Kind of good. What we can do is go to Talishare. No, not Talishare. Go to Fabry. And hypothetically, take one and see. Although I assume they're not up yet. There we go. We go Icelander. Blah, 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 blah. And then we're looking for the Pulse cards. It is Pulse, right? Pulse of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think it's Pulse. Either way, it's not showing up. We got one before. Yeah, so it's Ice Earth, which I guess means it has to be Ice Earth. which is kind of better, because it means all of them are still out of play, and they are pretty strong effects to have lingering. But the fact that Icelandia can't have it in her deck is probably telling enough, right? Because she's been around for a while. Let's do it again, just in case. If I spell it correctly. Where it went. Did I lose it already? Yeah, so no cards come up. For her. Which I think is the correct reading as well. Right? You can't have a talented card in a non-talented hero, even though it has, you know, Ranger on it. Yeah, I think in rationalizing that, we could have come to the correct conclusion. We just thought about it. Well. Yeah. Seek and Destroy, there's a Terra Sunder. They don't really fit the bill, because they're just, like, random things. Even Bolt and Shot never occurs to me that it's from Tales. I'm like, was that Everfest? This is... what's this? Yeah, this is a new box. That's Cold Foil for that box, but it's near the top, so again, we might get two. So another tip gold boxes. Usually if you had one Cold Foil up the top of one stack, right, in the box, you kind of have a decent chance of another Cold Foil down the bottom of the other stack. Once again, a decent amount of M start. Nada. Another Bolton shot. Does make me wish there's like a collector product. I shouldn't call it a collector product. I don't want like a overpriced product, but something where it's a bit easier to care through the number of packs. There's just so much waste here I don't care about. Crosslock, ice. Nada. Still no M. I don't think there's anything else I really wanted to find. Just be an L, but chance of that. Go Duskblade. Now, I was curious what weapon he's kind of carrying. Or not, jeez. Is it Duskblade? Kind of looks like it, but then it's got those jagged edges. Makes it a bit more thorny. I mean, I suppose it could just be Rosetta Thorn. Considering the set is. I could also, weirdly, God, how's it spelled? I'll just do Thorn. I'd say the Fabled being Rosetta Thorn. That'd be kind of cool. No, so it's definitely not that. So it looks like the hilt-ish, because you've got that windiness that could be part of the sword or part of the vines. Similar to Duskblade, but then the blade being jagged kind of looks more like Rosetta, but even that, not kind of close enough. But obviously it being named Rosetta must have something to do with it. It's definitely not coming back in that version, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely not. I think they've sort of failed the signature weapon system. If one hero's signature weapon is just the signature weapon for the class, right? Which is, you know, sort of saying something about KO's claws. But yeah, Rosetta Thorn is not coming back as that. You know what? Rosetta, in that sense, could either be a person or a tree. Maybe it's another tree similar like Koshim. That doesn't go there. I don't care about foils. And maybe that's the Fable. Ah, yeah, I hate the signature weapon thing too. It takes out one of the big tool, plus they're not equivalent. I did have a big spiel about how, you know, sometimes signature weapons are tokens, sometimes signature, well, I should say common level cards. Sometimes signature weapons are majestic level. And that is not a good aspect. And a lot of times, you know, the weapons are more archetype dependent than class dependent. So removing it because one hero goes is kind of weird. It's like the dash pistol conundrum, because all the other mechanologist weapons kind of really suck. They tried to do something with Symbiosis Shot. I think if that wasn't a spec, maybe you could see something with Data Doll with that. But yeah, no, I dislike the signature weapons too, in all honesty. Rosetta in the lore is made of an order of spell weavers. Okay. That makes me lean more towards it being a tree. Oh, there's Tear Asunder. Well, in that sense, they could tie it back, you know. They created the weird lightning golem thing. They teach the new people. Maybe that's just why it's called Rosetta. Which Wizard Runeblade Lightning Stable would you recommend picking up now to be a good position to play after Lightning Hero? Let us go through the M's, because I do not remember the name of it, but we've come across it a lot. Oh, actually, we can do it this way. We go Lightning. So, the thing to think about, right? Again, I'm not a competitive player, nor do I play Runeblade or Wizard all that much. But easy way to think about it is what is the weakness of both classes, and you have Go Again being the really. What did I forget? Lightning. I forgot the N. We do want to filter. Shock Charm is definitely an interesting one. You can't filter, can you? That's interesting. You can. We do rarity? I guess you can't do rarity. That's interesting. The fact that they have, you know, made a point of reprinting Shock Charmers for Japan kind of says that it will be relevant. I do find that kind of interesting. So none of the pulses matter, otherwise pulse would have been good. Shock Charmers is instant, pay 2, next time attack action card you control hits a hero, it deals 1 damage to them, right, with Spell Void. This seems kind of weird to me because it's not arcane for either. Channels, Flicker Wisp, Blink, and Fulminate. Fulminate, there we go, that's the one. Yeah, Shock Charmers is getting reprinted. That's the main reason people are speculating on it. It is... oh god, I went too far. Here we are. Right? So the Japanese language is getting 2 extra cards, being Arcanite Skullcap, which makes sense, right? Again, it is in Arcane Rising, Everfest, both sets Japan doesn't have. It's crucial towards Arcane play, right? But then Shock Charmers, which is just a weird thing to add, right? So I think people are running with that it's going to have a super great relevancy to the set for whatever reason. Yet it seems kind of weird. I mean, I could see them making a different one that deals arcane damage. Or an inverse one. Every time you play a non-action card or something that has Go Again, deal 1 arcane damage. Spell Void. Spell Void is, it's not good. Cool, it prevents 1 more damage than Arcane Barrier. But you lose it. That's my take. But yeah, Fulminate. Fulminate's the big one. So if Fulminate was fused with Lightning... ooh, I don't know, it might be too small to read. Definitely, is that a bit better? Maybe. So if Fulminate was fused... what am I doing? I literally have them here. Fulminate was fused with a lightning card. Attack action cards you control gain go again. Which again is one of the big things Runeblade suffers from, right? Is your ability to gain go again. Anything that creates action points or embodiment, embodiment of lightning is going to be kind of good. Because again, they shore up those weak spots for Runeblade and Wizard. Flicker Wisp to some extent probably seems really good. But yeah, basically the aforementioned. But we have Flicker Wisp, which is until the end of turn, attack action cards deal 1 extra arcane damage, right? So that's just stacking with Runeblade, so that's good. Flash Freeze, if it was fused with lightning, attacks you control this turn. If they hit, deal an extra 3 damage. It's like Shock Charmers on steroids. And then Fulminate and Blink. Blink just being a way to generate action points off the card. Seems really strong, right? Runeblade, if you're taking aggro line, is already cheaper. So it being 0 cost, 1 card from hand, not too impactful, right? It's just on-demand eloquence token, which, you know, Chain has to jump through hoops to be able to get. So Blink is probably going to have relevancy in both. Again, Wizard wants more action points, more ways to get go again. But yeah, Fulminate, having go again, seems really good. There was Channel as well. I think Channel is going to be the biggest sleeper hit. It's already risen by a lot. But, again, my analogy for it would simply be, if you could run it in Kano, would you run it in Kano? And to that extent, I think most people would say, yeah. Did I not get a copy? I guess I didn't get a copy. So, Channel, Thunder is lightning, and then whenever you play an action card, so remember, that covers both attacks and non-attack action cards, you may pay 1. If you do, it gains go again. Which, again, you take the gloves for Kano, that is pay 1, gain 1 damage. Would you rather gain 1 damage, or would you rather everything have go again? I think the choice is pretty easy to make in that scenario. So yeah, I would be grabbing some of these. Because I think both Runeblade and Wizard will desperately want it. I think Bride didn't matter, because again, you're focusing on real big things. Plus, she wasn't also lightning. Was she lightning? I always forget. Did Briar have 2 elements? I always go to think she's just Earth, and then I go, but everyone else was 2. But then I go, Briar, she's just Earth. And it always does my head in. I think she's just Earth. Is the odd duck out? No, she is lightning. Yeah, but again, Briar didn't want it because you were just either making the embodiment of lightning tokens, or you were just trying to do one big attack, basically. But for Lightning Wizard, I would definitely expect it to have huge use. Because it shores up the one weakness that Wizard appears to have most. God, I have a stack somewhere. Yeah, Briar always confuses me. Because I probably have seen Lightning can't be played, but it always feels like she just takes giant earth things to throw at you, and she just plays like Guardian instead of Runeblade. With the occasional, hefty ping. Alright. Overall, not horrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we ended up with 6 cold foils. Well, 7 technically. Only 1 M of the 6 boxes. No L, which does suck. But our salvation is we got the Fable. The Fable also seems interesting. So whenever you enter, it gains go again. Whenever a hero reveals a card, so fuse, gain a resource or life. Next attack, gains +1. Next action card they defend with gains +1. And then as long as you've gained either a resource, resource, life, attack, or defense, right? So Embodiment of Earth covers the defense. Any of the buff cards covers that cost. There are a ton of life gain in Earth, and then just pitching something gains resource. It's a lot different to transcending the Mystic one, where you have to cover all 3. The fact that you only need to cover 1 means if you just take a deck that, pitches to defend, It should see use.